Right. Why is this not working? All right. Hello, everyone. We are getting ready to go live on all the platforms. So we are here. We're excited to have you with us. If you are watching on Facebook, you are actually able to see Goose. So I don't know if you guys are able to hop onto the Facebook channel. We are getting ready to go live on air on Reel to Reel broadcasting as well, trying to get all of our systems up and running. And you know how it's one of those days where things just don't go the way that you expect them to. Happens all the time here, so it's kind of a thing that we're good at handling. So, hello. We are live. It is February the 18th of 2023. I'm Christine DeGennaro, and if you're watching on Facebook, you get to see my pet duck named Goose. And if you guys are watching on TikTok, you guys are able to interact. You guys are able to ask questions. I'm not going to be able to get to everything all the time. I do have a set program that I'm trying to go along with, but if you guys have questions that goes along with the topics that we're talking about, so we're going to be able to pop in and say hello. So I am seeing Angel, I am seeing Amber. So hello, my dears. Thank you so much for joining. So as I said, if you're watching on the Facebook group, it's Coffee with Christine and Goose. You're able to watch there live. We're having issues on YouTube, but we are going live on the radio. So here we are. Thank you so much for joining us for the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. I'm your host, Christine DeGennaro. If you're watching on Facebook, you get to see my pet duck named Goose. Let me see if I can switch this over here. So today, here's Goose. So today we are talking about all kinds of really good tidbits of information. But what I love to do before we get started and before we dive on into the podcast for the day, I do some tarot card reading. So I do like to pull a card, one card for the day to set our intention. And if you guys are here, what I like to do is just kind of get a good feel for what. Oh, thank you so much for the rose on TikTok, Amber. Thank you. I like to give us a good overall takeaway, something that we're going to take with us for the end of the podcast. And the card of the day is Towers, which represents surprises, unexpected events. So we're going to take that mentality with us today and be able to incorporate with everything that we're going to learn, everything we're going to talk about, everything we're going to discuss. And we're going to just really make it a point to enjoy what it is we're doing, how we're living, how we're doing everything. So actually, let me see if I can switch this over here. So I am pulling up our script. So this week, what we've done, we've managed to talk to an incredible veteran. He's an Army veteran who served in Iraq and Afghanistan. His name is Lawrence, and he owns a veteran-owned business, obviously, where he takes veterans outdoors and helps them he helps put them back in nature, which is just something that is so beautiful and so powerful, because I think especially a lot of us who are here and who are animal lovers, animal fiends and fanatics, we understand that there is a certain chemistry, a certain bond that we have with animals and nature. And what Lawrence does as an advocate for mental health and wellness for our veterans is he brings them to the outdoors. He allows them to use his property to be able to come out and go hunting and fishing and camping, canoe trips and hikes, and and it's just, so we're going to play the interview today. So that's what we have ahead of us. We have the interview today. We are going to talk a little bit about the whole chicken gate thing. One of our friends here on TikTok has posted some of the results. So I feel like it's important for us to be able to look at it from a scientific standpoint. And I think that, there's a lot of information that we can get from what was uncovered in the results. So we're going to talk a little bit about the chicken feed. We're going to talk a little bit about education as far as ducks and taking care of them, what it does for our mental health, and some things that you can also do for yourself to really start taking charge of your mental wealth and health, mental health and wellness. Can you tell I haven't had my coffee? Speaking of coffee, I'm drinking Maxwell House. What are you guys drinking? Let me know. Drop that in the comments. Let me know if you guys are able to hear me. I know Amber said, thank you for the rose again, sweetie. I really appreciate that. I more than you know. Angel, I know you're watching. I am actually going to try. So while we're playing the interview, I'm going to try to do something on screen so you guys can see Goose while we're here on TikTok. But let's go ahead and dive on into this interview with Lawrence. I think you guys are going to get a lot out of it. If you have any veterans, this would be a good resource for you guys to forward to them. Lawrence offers, as you'll find out in the interview, he offers free services to veterans. And so if you have any veterans in your life who would be interested in this, make sure you guys follow to the end to get all the contact information that you're going to need to be able to forward him. Okay? So let's go ahead and dive on into the interview with Lawrence from Salty Dog Outdoors, LLC. Get this to play. All right, and as we're getting this to play, make sure you guys are liking, sharing, loving, doing all the things that will help get our message out there. Lawrence, if you're watching, say hello. You can drop your information in the comments here in the group. We're live on Facebook, we're live on TikTok, and we are also live on Reel to Reel Broadcasting. And so make sure you guys are engaging. Here we go.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. We have a special guest, Lawrence. He's got an amazing topic for healthcare, for mental health and wellness, and the benefits that he sees in the outdoors connecting to mental health for veterans. So Lawrence, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know where you are, what you do, and how you help our veterans.
So actually I've been a part of helping out with outdoor nonprofits since 2017. I got involved with an organization called Hometown Hero Outdoors here in Wisconsin. I was stationed here at Fort McCoy. And it's kind of a funny story how that happened. I was a couple of individuals that I actually put in the Army that I recruited out of Minnesota hit me up and they were like, hey, Sergeant Holicky, we know you really like the outdoors. You need to check out Hometown Hero Outdoors here. They just got started here in Minnesota. They were about a year old at the time. I started digging into it, and I'm very particular about nonprofits that I deal with because I am a skeptical veteran sometimes, and I have to, I know there's a lot of veteran organizations out there. Some are all about the veteran and some are not. So I have to do a lot of research, and I looked into them, and they were doing a lot of wonderful things across North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. And I ended up taking out the state director here in Wisconsin on a duck hunt after I became a member and got him on his first duck. And he is a Marine veteran, and he enjoyed himself so much he asked me to come aboard as a field staff member with the organization to help bring more of the outdoors to other veterans that could use it. Right. So I stayed with that organization, became the co-state director in Wisconsin. Then I ended up going to Colorado because the Army said I had to go. And I went to Colorado and I set up over there as the state director, brought on about 23 volunteers in an 18 months period of time. Took out 300 and some veterans on 70 different trips while we were there. We were super busy. Colorado's an outdoor haven. So, I mean, you're going to, and plus have different Army and Air Force bases there, Space Force out there.
Right.
So we got involved heavily out there. Well, I ended up retiring out of the Army, coming back to Wisconsin. I decided to leave the organization, Hometown Hero Outdoors, nothing against that organization, but it grew extremely fast. And I wanted to step back and help another organization grow, and that's the Veteran Hunting and Fishing Network.
That's so cool.
Yep. So I'm the state director here in Wisconsin for them now.
That is so fascinating. Now, I know that with the Army, you went in right around 9/11. Was it right before, right after 9/11? So you were there during some of the height of the craziness that we were both in around the same time. So could you discuss a little bit about your Army career and how much you were impacted by what you did after the military?
So I joined or enlisted in the Army out of Minnesota in 2002. So in April of 2002, I enlisted. It was a little while after 9/11. There were some things I had to go through to get enlisted, but I made the decision to enlist because of 9/11. That's what impacted my career change.
Right.
Ended up doing that and coming in. I worked in air defense and infantry, deployed to Iraq my first year. Right after I got out of basic training, I pretty much deployed. So deployed my first year as an air defense / infantry guy. And I say that because I came in air defense and then they got rid of our MOS, or military occupational specialty, right? And they got rid of it and said, well, you guys are all infantry now. So, and I did that my first deployment. And then from there, I got back from that deployment. I was only going to do 6 years. That's what I signed up for. And then I was going to go back to running I had a roofing contracting business.
Right.
Just things changed. I just really enjoyed being in the military. It really helped me grow as a person. It helped me become more responsible and more disciplined and more in tune with what it is that I exactly wanted to do with my life. And that was to serve my country. So I ended up re-enlisting. I only had one re-enlistment in 20 years, believe it or not. That's how it ended up working out.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
It's crazy to think that, yeah. So I had 6 years, but then I was in recruiting for 5, and I had to extend because I really liked recruiting out of Minneapolis. And so I extended, made staff sergeant while I was there. And of course, then I was in what they call indefinite in the Army, like we own you now after I re-enlisted. Right. So I got my one re-enlistment in, and then I was a lifer. Yeah, I went into military intelligence. I worked as a 35 Mike, which is a interrogations and military source operations. I deployed with that job, which was an amazing deployment. I didn't probably have it as bad as some of the people that were currently still there. We were on the drawdown in Iraq at that time. That was 2001. So it was, we did a lot. I still did my job, source operations, interrogations, but it wasn't as bad as when I was in Fallujah and Ramadi the first time I was there. I got off to that job, and then I did 3 years in Germany with that job, and I was able to actually conduct source operations in Latvia and Poland, Estonia, training missions all over Europe, which was really fun, and I really enjoyed that piece. Then I came to Fort McCoy from Germany to Wisconsin.
You know. Nothing like a culture shock.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was nice coming home. My branch manager, I said, hey, I want to be closer to my family. I want my kids to be closer to their families. And I said, but if you can't make it work, you can't make it work. I get it. And then boom, Wisconsin came up. I was trying to go back to Fort Riley, Kansas. And Wisconsin came up, and I was like, I'll take it. So I came out here and became what they call an observer controller trainer. That's the individuals who train and help validate units to make sure that their units are ready to deploy. So I did the reserves and the guards, some National Guard units, mostly Army Reserve units. I really, really enjoyed that as well, too. I tried to retire out of Wisconsin, but the Army had other ideas. They sent me off to Colorado for 18 months. My family stayed here in Wisconsin. I didn't want to move them. So I did my time out in Wisconsin. That's where I was really heavily involved with. Hometown Hero Outdoors kept me busy. And that was the benefits for me, being away from my family and being able to focus on helping veterans get through their issues and things too, by using the outdoors as that kind of catalyst for health and, mental management, right? So it did a lot for me and in the years that I've been in. And so I just decided to keep continuing that by giving forward. So now I'm retired and I started my own guide service and Salty Dog Outdoors LLC. And I take out veterans for free. I do not charge veterans. If veterans come in and they're like, no, you're taking my money or whatever, they can donate it to VHFN or they can donate it back to another veteran trip. They can do whatever they want. I know there's a lot of veterans who don't take no for an answer.
Right.
But if they do that and they enjoy their time, they really want to give back. That's what I do with it. So none of the money I get from veterans, if they do give any money, it goes right back into Salty Dog Outdoors, and I bring another set of veterans out. So, and through Veteran Hunting and Fishing Network. But I offer that to everybody, and you'd be surprised. Not a lot of people take advantage of it. I wish people would. I fish and hunt probably almost every day if I can. So, but yeah.
So tell me, what has been, there has to be a story of someone's transformation that you were able to witness. Would you be able to tell me or recall and tell me a time where you really saw the benefits of being outdoors really help someone?
Every time I'm out, and honestly, I'm a mentor. I'm still a mentor with Hometown Hero Outdoors. You can actually go onto their Facebook page under their community page, and you'll find my name there as a mentor. Okay. And I tell people, like, again, I have to put this out because of liability issues. I'm not a counselor. I'm not certified psychologist. I don't know any of that. I am a certified assist gatekeeper. If you know what that is, that gatekeepers are the individuals that veterans and military members can reach out to if they're considering taking their life. We're the ones that then guide that individual to get the help that they need. So I am certified in that. But the biggest thing that I always heard with veterans is that, whoever I'm talking to for mental health doesn't understand me because they weren't a veteran. They're a doctor, right? So they don't understand what it was like for me to be in the foxhole with my buddy and watch my buddy die. They don't get that. They just try to tell me who I'm supposed to be and then load me up on drugs. And I hear that a lot, and especially with, combat veterans. So what they are looking for, though, is they just want to reach out to a friendly voice or to a veteran that they potentially believe can understand what they've been through. And I have been through all of those things. And as a resiliency trainer in the Army, I know that's one of the things I did in the Army was helping military members too. I was a master resiliency trainer, and I'd go around and do a resiliency training, and I really enjoyed seeing that. But could I give you one? I've seen changes across many veterans that I've come across that I currently mentor several veterans right now that I have a continuing relationship with that come out to my place and go fishing. We go duck hunting together. They're happier. I'm not going to put the individuals in name out there.
Hello.
It would be of a story where I was sitting and waiting for in Colorado, you have
Coffee with Christine and Goose show.
Hunting, you have to put in what they call you have to reserve.
All right, let's see. So I am seeing a report that we have a special guest, Lauren. He's got an amazing topic for healthcare, for mental health and wellness, and the benefits that he sees in the outdoors connecting to mental health for veterans. So Lawrence, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know where you are, what you do, and how you help our veterans.
So actually I've been a part of helping out with outdoor nonprofits since 2017. I got involved with an organization called Hometown Hero Outdoors here in Wisconsin. I was stationed here at Fort McCoy, and it was kind of a funny story how that happened. I was a couple of individuals that I actually put in the Army that I recruited out of Minnesota hit me up, and they were like, "Hey, Sergeant Holicky, we know you really like outdoors. You need to check out Hometown Hero Outdoors here. They just got started here in Minnesota. They were about a year old at the time. I started digging into it, and I'm very particular about nonprofits that I do it because I am a skeptical veteran sometimes, and I have to, I know there's a lot of veteran organizations out there. Some are all
Okay, guys. You know what we're going to do? We're going to
about the veteran, and some are not. So
we're going to put this on pause here.
I have to do a lot of research, and
come on. All right, guys. So
we're doing a lot of wonderful
what is happening?
things across.
All right, friends. So technology is fantastic when it works, and for whatever reason, this is all being super glitchy at the moment. So I am just going to have you guys bear with me. We're going to go ahead and cut to a break real fast, and I will be right back.
Thank you for watching the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. We'll be back after these messages from our sponsors. Apex Pheromones. Are you looking to spice things up with your partner? This Valentine's Day, buy him the gift of empowerment and enhance all that he is with a spray of a bottle. Pheromones combined with cologne tap into the area of your mind and his and help connect you on a primal level. They'll enhance your bonding and connection in and out of the bedroom and are perfect for date nights and spicy time. Apex Pheromone. Free shipping just in time for Valentine's Day. www.apexpheromone.com. We want to thank our sponsor, A+ Assistants, for all they do. Give yourself a break and delegate tasks like social media management, SEO for your website, website creation, copywriting, document creation, and so much more. As a business owner, you deserve to spend your time on the things you do best. Let A+ Assistants take over administrative, keep you on track, and pave the way to your success. Contact A+ Assistants today. www.apassistants.com. This podcast is brought to you by Grateful Acres of Delaware. Follow the journey of Allie and her special farm. Allie's mission is to help others through teaching them how to care for animals. The transformations she sees are incredible, and the people and animals she helps is a journey you don't want to miss. You can visit Allie in Delaware, donate to her farm, or follow her on Facebook. www.gratefulacresde.org. Now, back to the Coffee with Christine and Goose show.
All right, friends. So, thank you for joining us on the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. I'm Christine. You hear Mr. Goose in the background. If you're watching on Facebook, then at one point you had him in your sights, but today, today we're just making it work, friends. We're making it work. So we've got Goose in our sight on TikTok. We've got all kinds of fun technical things going on behind the scenes. So, if you are here, this is what we're looking at. We've got 2 monitors and a whole lot of craziness. So, thank you guys for bearing with us. And let us know if you can hear us. If there are any sound issues happening, just give me a heads up and let me know. Appreciate all of your support and your input. We are moving forward into today's topic. So what we're going to do, there was a lot of really great information in the podcast with Lawrence the other day. And so we want to make sure we're going to be cutting that into our YouTube video, and we will be posting the interview itself on the Coffee with Christine show. Normally I'm able to interject it and have it pop up, but for whatever reason, this is not the plan for today. But we want to make sure that you guys have access to that interview and to that. It's an incredible resource. I did provide the link for his business in the announcement for earlier this week. So make sure you guys go back onto the Facebook group. If you're watching on TikTok, go to the link in the bio, and that'll take you to all of our social media links, okay? So now we are going to go ahead and roll on into the topic that backyard chicken farmers and animal caretakers have been talking about for weeks now, us included. We were trying to address the issue of the chicken feed scandal. For those of you who've never heard of that before, what has been going on is a lot of farmers across the United States, whether they have a handful of chickens or whether they have a large flock, a lot of them have been experiencing a decrease in egg productivity. And it's something that is affecting farms that are big and small. So what has been happening is the chickens have stopped laying eggs. And it started around sometime in September, where they usually go through a seasonal molt. The daylight hours change, so their eggs naturally decrease production numbers. So instead of an egg a day, you're getting maybe one every other day. So it's normal. It's normal to see a drop in productivity. But there have been reports all across the country that people have not been receiving eggs at all from any of their chickens, and us included. And it's something that it has been brought up time and time again. Is it the feed? And I'm happy to report that we did get some lab results back. One of our friends on TikTok, he has his own chicken farm. They harvest chickens and they sell them to their local community out in Oklahoma. And he band together, people donated to have him send off samples to a lab. Yesterday, the labs came back and everything was in normal limits. The fiber, the amount of protein, everything was in the normal range as per the label. So it eliminates the idea that there was a lack of protein in this particular batch. I'm not saying that any test results that are different aren't important or aren't part of a bigger problem, but it's one of those where in this particular instance, all the numbers came back on point. All the numbers came back reportedly correct. So what does that mean? What does that mean for us here in chicken land and people who are relying on those eggs to continue to be produced by the chickens that are feeding their families? One of the things that we've been learning and one of the things that we've been encouraging everyone is make sure you guys are adding additional nutrient resources. So mealworms, seeds, grains, kitchen scraps like fruits and veggies and rinds and all that kind of good and healthy, nutritious food should be mixed in and part of a nutritious, balanced diet for your livestock. So that's always a really good thing to keep in mind. And then while we are on the topic of being able to provide them food, a lot of people have been going back to their local food mills. We went earlier today, and it's something that my partner grew up with the kids whose father owns the family mill, this feed mill. And it's so good to be able to give back to the local community. So for those of you who are worried about purchasing Purina, buying food from Tractor Supply, if you did have an issue and are choosing to not use those products anymore, a really good resource would be to go to your local feed mill if you have one available. You can trust the source of the food. You also have the opportunity to support your local economy and your food. A lot of times I've found that you're paying just around the same, if not a little bit less, when you go to your local feed mill. So that's something to think about too. Okay. So as we are trying to figure out and, get the science behind it, there's so many different ways that it can go. And for me personally, I know we experienced the issue with the feed, and when we changed our bird's diet, we started getting eggs. Make sure you're doing your research. The research that we have been able to locate has indicated that the samples that have been provided are within normal limits to all the labs that have been coming back. So with that in mind, and without our crazy tinfoil hat, we're going to take those, excuse me, that information, adjust our lifestyle and the food that we're feeding our animals, and we're going to move forward. I do recommend that you guys do the research on what food your animals need. We're getting ready to go into spring. We're getting ready to go into Chickenville, because right around the corner, people are buying chickens. The ducks are coming in. The chickens are coming into Tractor Supply. And we all know, if you live in Duckville, if you're a crazy chicken or duck lady, thank you so much for the rose here on TikTok. I appreciate that. Thank you. Walking into Tractor Supply is going to require a lot of willpower. You're going to hear those peeps. You're going to hear those chirps, and you're going to want to buy babies. They're so pretty, and they're cute, and they're fluffy, and they're adorable. Make sure that if you're going in, you have enough knowledge to be able to maintain and keep them safe and healthy. Make sure you know what they're going to need to eat. Make sure you know what kind of messes you're going to get into, what kind of bedding is appropriate. If you're going to buy the birds, plan on keeping the birds and making sure that they are living their best life. A lot of people have a tendency to buy them for picture opportunities. And, so over the next couple months, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of birds being rehomed. So just keep an eye out on it. But as you guys are going out and purchasing babies, and we're bringing on more babies to keep in with our flock, we're adding more to our flock too. Making sure you know what you're feeding them is one of the most important things. So my bit of livestock advice for you is be comfortable. We'll do it that way. Be comfortable with what you are feeding your flock. Okay. Do you agree with that, Mr. Goose? I have Goose over here in the corner. Let me see if I can turn this camera over here. There's Mr. Goose in the corner. He managed to turn off his screen, so I am currently not sharing a screen. Not sharing a screen with him. But yeah, so right now you are watching the Coffee with Christine and Goose show here live on Facebook and on TikTok and on Reel to Reel Broadcasting. And we are diving into topics that are important to us, important to you as the listener. Earlier today, we were doing an interview. We were trying to broadcast an interview that we had conducted with Lawrence, who is an Army veteran who has an incredible resource for our military veterans. Any veteran, any branch, doesn't matter. If you're able to get out to Minnesota, he's got Minnesota, Wisconsin, one of those. I can't remember. I've slept since we did the interview. It's horrible. But he has a beautiful resource to be able to provide for veterans where you can take them fishing and hunting and camping and all this really good stuff. Get them outdoors for their mental health. The changes that he's seen, the influence that he's been able to notice in the people who come to him have been incredible. So we're going to be posting that interview. Once we wrap up here, we'll post that interview so you guys get to see the whole thing and the whole entire interview. It's wonderful. He really is a great guy with a huge heart and a passion for helping others, and just the kind of people that you want to have in your life. So if you guys know of any veterans who would be able to benefit from this, this would be a great opportunity for you guys to share this information. All you have to do is get the veteran out to the location, and Lawrence takes care of everything from the lodging. There might be a free meal thrown in there, but you take care of your food, you take care of your transportation there. He takes care of everything else. From the lodging to the transportation out to the site to all the gear that you guys are going to need. And so he's an invaluable resource to getting out and making memories with the people who are important to you and helping people for better mental health. So it's been one of the things that he and I talked about was the impact that this had on his own life and how much his own life has changed. Not only is he, sorry guys, I'm trying to adjust the camera view here. Not only is he doing something that he loves, that he's passionate about, but he's also able to share those first moments with others. And it's just such a beautiful thing to be able to see. And so we definitely want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to see that and listen to it and be able to get that resource available to you too. Okay. So now, and just so you guys know, the veterans are free, which is pretty cool, but it's not just for veterans. It's anyone who wants to go camping to this site. It's available too. It's just the veterans have the benefit of free. So there's all kinds of cool stuff. I love it. So we're going to add that to our to-do list in just a little bit as I'm trying to pull up my technology is just rolling in the mud over here apparently. So how's everyone doing? If you guys are watching, you guys are still listening, make sure you're dropping comments. Ask us any questions. I'm here on TikTok and I'm happy to take questions. I do have Facebook questions that can pop up. So if you guys ask any good questions, I'll be able to take those live. Now, I do have a shout out to my friend Nick and his partner Phoenix. And I just want to thank you guys on air because if you purchase a product or you make a donation to the Coffee with Christine and Goose show, you get a live shout out. So I want to let Nick and Phoenix know, thank you guys so much for watching, for purchasing. They requested a workbook, a custom made. Yeah, that's you. Hey, Nick. So a custom made workbook that I was happy to make for them. They contributed a donation, a generous donation, to the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. Goose got some grapes out of the deal, so he was pretty happy. But that's something that if you guys are interested in any freelance projects, I do presentations, I can do commercials, I can do, there's really nothing I can't do. If I don't know how to do it, I'll figure it out. Happy to do it for donations or we can talk. But freelance projects, doing web design. So I'm doing a lot of graphic stuff lately. I've been working on the website. But Nick and Phoenix, thank you again very much for your donation. I hope you guys are enjoying the workbook, that it's working out for you. Let me know if you want to drop that in the comments and let me know if that has been a help or if you need any modifications. I'd be happy to do that too. Yeah. So I'm a, what do they call? Jack of all trades. I'm a jack of all trades. If you've been following me for any length of time, you have seen the course of this show morph. You've seen me morph. You've seen a whole lot of change and growth. And that's one of the topics that we're going to be talking about today is the importance of growth and harnessing your own personal superpowers. And what we're going to do as I'm getting ready to go into that segment. What we're going to take a quick break, and I am going to play the commercials. We're going to go pay some bills with these commercials, and we'll come back and we're going to talk about growth and what that means to you. I'll be right back. Come on, commercial. Yeah.
Thank, thank you for watching the Coffee with Christine and Goose show.
Okay, all right, well. All right, friends. So we're back. Oh, all right. So I was trying to get Mr. Goose. So as I'm going to show, if you're watching on TikTok, we're going to try that again. As we're watching on TikTok, you guys get to see Mr. Goose, who is hanging in the furthest corner possible of the entire room. If you are listening on reel-to-reel broadcasting, then unfortunately you weren't able to see Mr. Goose, but he is hanging out in the furthest corner of the room. Now, we're going to be talking here about personal growth and what that means. So, growth is different for everyone, and it doesn't look the same for everyone. And the beauty of the whole thing of growth is that it shouldn't look the same for everyone. So everyone has a unique journey. Everyone has a unique story and a unique path that they're following. And as we are learning how to be better, or as we're learning how to encompass ourselves, as we're learning more about ourselves, we're doing this funny thing called growing. Now, it looks different for some people. Some people grow and go and do the traditional path and go into school right out of high school. Or some people go and get jobs directly out of school. Some people go into the military right out of school. You know, the path is different for everyone. Some people don't have the opportunity to even finish school, right? But the people who are the happiest seem to be, this is just a kind of blanket statement, but seem to be the happiest when they're learning. They're able to challenge themselves. They're the ones who are looking for more. They're looking for more knowledge. They're looking to move up to the next level. What else can I learn? What else can I share? What else can I get to be able to give to others? And those seem to be the people who also struggle the most with their self-care, because they're on a mission to change the world. And when you're on a mission to change the world, you put yourself off. And when we're able to prioritize ourselves just a little bit, when we're able to put our needs in the forefront just a little bit, we're able to fill our cup, and we're able to overflow that cup onto other people. And not only are we overflowing, but we're also leading by example. So self-care and growth are very similar. They're very similar because without one, you don't have the other. When you don't do self-care, it's like you're stifling yourself. It's like you are taking away the sunlight that you require to grow. If we're thinking of you and yourself as a plant, when you are not watering your mindset, when you are not watering your need to grow, when you are not watering yourself in a way that feels good and a way that your body needs, you don't grow, right? Or if you're depriving yourself of the sunlight and joy, you're not going to grow anywhere near as fast as if you would if you had sunlight, right? So if you think of yourself as a plant, and the things that you do every day to take care of yourself as nurturing a plant, sometimes just that visual is enough to help get you back on track. It's enough like, okay, I have to make sure I water the garden today. The garden being yourself. Maybe that represents taking a shower to you. I have to go water the garden. In my head, I got to go water myself. I have to go and do something that makes me happy, which is being in sunlight, maybe going for a walk. This goes back to the interview that we were doing earlier, where Lawrence takes these people, he takes veterans out into the woods, into wilderness, and helps create new memories and new moments for them. And when we choose to sit in front of the computer all day, when we choose to get stuck in our heads and to not get out and about or not push ourselves just a little bit to do something that feels good outside of our normal environment, we're missing these beautiful opportunities. I want to show you guys something. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, I'm going to show you. Mr. Goose is taking a nap on top of the tablet that he's supposed to be on camera on. He was messing around with it earlier and ended up turning it off. So if you're watching, Goose is sleeping. I'm going to see if I can turn this here for you guys. Mr. Goose is sleeping. He's such a mess. So I had a question for you guys. That actually reminded me. I was thinking about having Goose do some paintings, like get some non-toxic paint and have him do little feet paintings. What do you guys think? Would that be something that you guys would buy Goose foot paintings? I saw that on TikTok or Instagram the other day, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever. So maybe we'll auction off some Goose foot paintings. We got a boatload of feathers that we could sell. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. So you guys would buy them? All right. Well then, Goose, I'm going to commission you for art. We've made that decision. Goose has just become an artist. Not only is he a professor because he helps teach self-care, but he is also an artist. He gets it from his mama. So I love it. Oh, man. So it's really funny because none of my technology is working. I had an entire list of topics that we were going to cover, and my computer is not opening them at all. So we're flying by the seat of our pants on some of the topics here today. But what we're doing is our main mission. So if you guys are new, if you're popping in, you're watching, Goose is a special needs house duck. We have Luna, who hangs out in the kitchen. So we have 2 indoor ducks who are special needs ducks. We have 6 outdoor ducks who are happy being hog wild. We are getting ready to get some more chickens. We've got 5 over at my husband's property. Husband, significant other, he's all the above combined. Over at his property, we're going to be getting a few more in lieu of this egg craziness. So we're buckling on down for additional chickens. Yay, chickens. So we were talking about feed earlier. We were talking about Goose and doing footy paintings. I think that would be absolutely hilarious. So I think we're at least going to do a series. We're going to do a video series on this. But for those of you who don't know, I'm Christine. I'm a Navy veteran. I did 5 years in the military after 9/11. Became a medical assistant. So I worked about 10 years in the medical field, including physical therapy, office management, underwent my own health nonsense, and decided to transition to life coaching. There was a particular moment that stood out to me. I was asked to give a speech during a breast cancer awareness march. And for me, that was the moment that solidified it. I wanted to do speaking. I wanted to encourage people. I wanted to uplift people. So this is how we are here on the podcast. We've decided to really step up our game. And not only are we helping people really truly love themselves. That's one of the basis of what I teach my clients is how to fully start to embrace yourself. It's always going to be a piece of work. It's always going to do hard digging and a constant growth. Like there's always going to have to be progress made when you are digging into self-care on yourself. But one of the things that I love to do is I love to help people get their message out too. You have a very special message to share with the world. And we are here to help, and we are here to encourage, and we are here to ensure that you are continuing to grow into the best version of yourself possible. Now, whether that's mental health and awareness guidance, which is something that we work on. We help walk you through improving your own self-care. But Goose and I are starting an academy and a program where you're going to be able to walk through the academy and then join us on a special network of anything and everything having to do with mental health and wellness. So not only do you have an opportunity to walk through the academy, I can do the social media imaging for you. I can help you build your website. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes into it that is tapping into my natural superpower, but also is going to help you get your message out. And that is the key component. Everyone has a message. Everyone has a story. And if you've ever wanted to become a podcast host, you've ever wanted to host your own show, you wanted to be a guest, we struggle a little bit sometimes to get some of our podcasts out. So we're working on streamlining that process. It's all about growing. It's all about growth and embracing the growth and who you are in the process. So that's a little bit about us if you're new. And if you're not, we appreciate you coming in and spending time and hanging out with us for sure. You know, you guys the listeners are always the people that make it or break it. You know, not having the support, you know, is I can understand how frustrating it can be for people who don't feel listened to and people who don't feel like their message is being heard. And there are days where you guys reach out and let me know that our messages are being heard. And that is something that is so profound and so meaningful. You know, and I think it's easy to get caught up. This is something that I've been noticing for myself. It's easy to get caught up in the creation of the videos. So I do want to put it out there that Goose and I are going to be, mostly me, I'm going to be making a concerted effort to make sure that if I'm seeing you guys post stuff, posting videos, sharing stuff, we're going to do our best to interact with you guys. You know, I do want to let you guys know I work a part-time job. I'm trying to run like 2 different businesses. So if I don't get to everyone's comments or if I don't always interact on your own profiles, I do want to make sure that you know it's not for anything other than lack of, I didn't see it. And it's not that we're not paying attention. It's just our focus. We're multi-focused. So the people who extend us grace and who show us the love and support, we definitely appreciate it. So that's something that I do want to put out there. Okay. So, while this is not doing what I need it to, let me see. I am going. We'll see if that helps. Now, so we talked about chicken feed. Did you guys have any comments or any questions on the whole chicken feed scenario? Because I do know that that is something that has, I think for the most part, for the time being, it has to an extent run its course. The only thing that I have noticed is there are lawyers that are starting to get involved, and there are lawyers that are looking into the case to see if there is a case, a potentially legitimate lawsuit for the whole chicken feed thing. So I do know that that is something that is. Oh, that's not what I wanted. So there may be more coming in on that. Who knows? I do think that it's really good that we do have people who are looking into it. And it's one of those circumstances that time's going to tell. So let's see. I'm just double checking to see if there are any questions. I know Nick and Phoenix, thank you, you guys hanging out and visiting with us in the wings. Definitely see you and appreciate that. And so now we've been talking about self-care duck style. What it means as far, hey Courtney, I see you on TikTok. So I'm getting all my friends in here, all my people. I appreciate you. So Courtney is a longtime friend. She and I met in the Navy. We knew each other out in Hawaii. And, we shared a really, really great conversation yesterday. And it was so good. No, Thursday. It was Friday. No, it was yesterday. I had to think about my days are all blending together. But we had a really beautiful conversation, and it revolved around the growth and learning ourselves and understanding ourselves, and how one of the most beautiful parts of the conversation, I think, was how we were talking about neither one of us have regrets. There's really nothing that we would change outright and do differently, because the struggle of learning who you are, overcoming your patterns, overcoming your mental hangups, overcoming your mental limitations it's a constant struggle. It's a constant battle. And there are some days where you feel lost, but then you have conversations with people like Courtney who have gone through incredible, incredible stories and trials and challenges, and are becoming all of who they are despite those challenges. And Courtney, I'm so glad that we were able to talk yesterday too. So it's one of those, don't ever give up. Don't ever give up, because you have the ability to change your world with just the way you view it. You can change your world. I definitely firmly and completely believe that. And if anyone is proof of that, it's my friend Courtney. I see you, babe. All right, friends, give me just a few moments. We're going to go into a quick commercial break. We're going to try to, at least. We're going to see what happens. And we will be right back. Or not. Come on. Yeah. It's so nice when the
Thank you for watching the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. We'll be back after these messages from our sponsors. Apex Pheromones. Are you looking to spice things up with your partner? This Valentine's Day, buy him the gift of empowerment and enhance all that he is with a spray of a bottle. Pheromones combined with cologne tap into the area of your mind and his and help connect you on a primal level. They'll enhance your bonding and connection in and out of the bedroom and are perfect for date nights and spicy time. Apex Pheromone. Free shipping just in time for Valentine's Day. www.apexpheromone.com. We want to thank our sponsor, A Plus Assistants, for all they do. Give yourself a break and delegate tasks like social media management, SEO for your website, website creation, copywriting, document creation, and so much more. As a business owner, you deserve to spend your time on the things you do best. Let A Plus Assistants take over administrative, keep you on track, and pave the way to your success. Contact A Plus Assistants today. www.apassistants.com. This podcast is brought to you by Grateful Acres of Delaware. Follow the journey of Allie and her special farm. Allie's mission is to help others through teaching them how to care for animals. The transformations she sees are incredible, and the people and animals she helps is a journey you don't want to miss. You can visit Allie in Delaware, donate to her farm, or follow her on Facebook. www.gratefulacresde.org. Now, back to the Coffee with Christine and Goose show.
All right, friends, thank you so much. So we're all right. I am trying to get Goose here up on the camera here on the Facebook. So if you guys are watching on Facebook, we are back up and running with Mr. Goose. If you are not on Facebook, you should be. So if you guys are watching here on TikTok, of course Goose is not going to sit in front of the camera because he would like to eat a yarn, eat one of the balls of yarn that I have. So Goose. All right. I'm going to need an assistant just to handle Goose. Anyone want to volunteer? Does anyone want to volunteer? Okay. All right. So, how is everyone else doing today? So, I had put it out there, Courtney, if you're still out there, we are kicking around the idea of doing Goose art, meaning we're going to have Goose run with his little feeties and some paint and run across the canvas, and we're going to put it up for auction. So apparently people will buy it. So I'm okay with this. I would totally love to see Goose's feet in art. I think that would be great. So that's the thinking process. Let me go ahead and put this. All right. Can you guys hear me a little bit better on TikTok? Probably. So we are just continuing to roll right along. So are there any questions on TikTok for me in regards to anything having to do with chicken food, self-care, anything like that? I know one of the things that we were talking about previously, so I know we've got a few people in my audience who are minors. We also have a few people in the audience who are brain injury survivors. And we want to make sure that we are being as all-encompassing and caring as possible. So we are going to be making some of our videos kid-friendly. But there are topics in here that, there are challenges, there are mental challenges that people are enduring that aren't always kid-friendly. So it's something that, Angel, if you're still here, sweetie, I know she's a little skittle. She's in middle school, and she's one of our biggest fans, and she does such a really great job of keeping in touch and sharing videos that she thinks that we like. And it's interesting to see the different audience. There's a lot of people that I didn't expect to reach that I am reaching. And we're really excited about that because it just opens up a whole new world of people and their struggles and what they're encountering and what ways we can help. So right now, our main focus, as the business is evolving, as I'm evolving as a coach, I'm noticing what my own personal strengths and my own personal weaknesses are. And I think that is absolutely crucial to be the best version of yourself, is to be aware of who you are at the core and to work with it. Courtney and I were talking about this yesterday too, was being able to understand the way your own personal mind works. Is not going to be, it's going to be different from person to person. But being able to recognize your highs, being able to recognize your lows, being able to work with them and to be able to understand. A lot of times this is where diagnosis comes in handy, Courtney. And again, we're talking about this yesterday, how having a diagnosis helps put some puzzle pieces together. But at the end of the day, what we have that makes us so hugely unique is our mind, is the way our mind thinks and our memories and the way we react and our patterns and our behaviors. Our mind is the core piece that makes us so unique, is the way our brain functions. Now, all of that, your brain, your heart, your body, everything is all geared by energy, right? So when it comes to self-care, one of the most important topics that I like to talk about is spirituality and being able to tap into your spiritual source. We're not going to go religious with this because I'm an advocate for whatever it is you believe. As long as you're being true to yourself and you're not hurting anyone, I'm a firm believer that you need to have something bigger than yourself to believe in and to have faith in and to be able to call in on during times of trial, during times of challenges, during times of especially lack of faith. Your doubt and fear, have something to call in on. It's so important. This is... So one of the things that I do like to do every once in a while is tap into a keyword that we can take with us. So today we've been talking about surprises and unexpected events and, being able to be flexible enough to roll with the punches. Now, there's a lot of stuff happening in this world right now, between the chicken feed and there's a lot of scary stuff that's happening in the news right now. And without getting political about it, because it's neither here nor there to me what you believe politically or any of that stuff, I want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. If you are watching a news source that does not feel good or that is scaring you, I want you guys to reevaluate the news source. So I want to make sure, that's one of the reasons why I want to do this podcast and this radio, because I want to make sure that the information that you're getting is true, but it's also unbiased. Like, these are the facts. This is what happened. It's up to you to decide what you do with that information. That's not up to me. I don't know your life. I don't know what's going to work best for you. So I think it's very important for us to be able to guide you and have resources for you to be able to have the resources at your fingertips. So we're going, over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking to fitness gurus. We're going to be talking to mental health, wellness I've got Brandy, who I'm hopefully going to be reconnecting with, and she helps people in addiction and recovery, life coaching. She also works with veterans. She's incredible. We have a whole bunch of people at our fingertips that we're building our community with and around to be able to provide resources for people, not just veterans, but people in general who need help and guidance and are interested in wellness. So whether it's Reiki healing or meditation practices, or, some of the things that we would love to be able to do too would be able to hold like online classes for those. So you guys would be able to be part of an online meditation, like a live meditation class every Thursday or something. You know what I mean? So we're working on building the network. We're building on introducing guests. We're building on so much here to create this wellness network for you. But we're also here to help guide you through the learning process of creating your own podcast from scratch, including the graphics and the design and the copy and all that stuff that I do and I work on. To be able to help people behind the scenes as well and gain confidence in sharing their message, either on camera, off camera, over the air, however they want to do it. So that's something that we're working on and doing. So I freelance and I coach, and it's cool. So I really wish that this document had saved to where I needed it to be. So if you guys are hanging out, you've completely stopped watching the news, you have to. Thank you, Nick, for commenting that. It's watching the news is when it's taking your energy instead of giving you energy. It's time to find a different way to get your news. One of the things that I've definitely noticed is that they create these headlines that are set to draw you in, and as you're reading, like, they're not giving you any information, like anything that you didn't already know. So it's all the clickbait if you're going online. So I always recommend you finding trusted resources. What your trusted resource, that's your call. But like the big news networks are kind of like, always take it with a grain of salt. One of the things that I learned when I was in the Navy, I was the military police, and I worked with investigations for a little while. And one of the things that I learned straight off the bat, they are never, ever, ever going to give the media the full story. You can't. Legally, you can't, because there are some things that have to be preserved knowledge-wise. So for us to be able to watch the news with the understanding that, like, this is not at all the full story, and we're probably never going to get the full story, is something that is unfortunate, but it's something that we do have to recognize as people who watch the news. So cutting it entirely out of out of your day-to-day is probably the best thing that you can do. Especially if you're someone, I remember my grandmother would all the time watch the news in Phoenix. Yeah. If something is important, Phoenix would tell you, and that's such a good thing too, having someone in your life who is like, hey, just FYI, this is what's going on in the world. This is what I know is going on in the world. One of my favorite sayings, this is what this says. Whether I believe it or not is a whole different story. And that's why being able to do your own research, with the going back to the chicken feed situation. So we're going to talk on that here too. That's part of what I wanted to get to. I'm glad we're leading into this. So when it comes to feeding ducks and feeding birds, they've had this big battle over the food. And that's because there are a lot of farmers who suspect that something has either been taken away or something has been added into the food source that they are providing for backyard chickens and other animals. There was a news article, I want to say it was February 9th. It was February 8th or February 9th that Purina quietly pulled off one of its prescription brand foods for dogs because there was a high vitamin D content that was causing dogs to get sick. So I think they said 2 dogs ended up getting really, really, really ill because of this particular food. And so they did a recall. They did a complete and total voluntary recall. So that led me to believe, like, okay, so obviously they're doing quality control. They're doing quality control at the lab. So there's nothing in particular detectable with what they're testing for. So we're not going to go into what I think as far as what's happening with the food, but I do want to point out some of the information that I personally came across when I was doing my research on this whole topic. There are 3 reasons why people do things: love, money, or drugs. Love, money, or drugs. When it comes to big businesses like this, it's money. Usually it's money. Power kind of plays into it a little bit, but it's mostly about the money. Bottom line is the money, right? So in my little own personal investigation, I started following the money. So the people who own Land O'Lakes also own Purina. And when I say own, they're the top investors. So all the people who are putting their money and expecting that money to come back to them are the people who own Land O'Lakes. They also own Purina Mills. They also own, there's several other companies that they own under this umbrella. Well, out of curiosity, I did a little bit of Google searching on the CEO of Land O'Lakes. And I discovered that not only was she board of directors for Land O'Lakes, which is a huge, she's an incredible woman for being able to handle all that. She is also one of the first lesbian, part of the LGBTQ. I always affectionately, and I want to make sure that this is clear, affectionately refer to them as the Alphabet Army because I can never remember the exact order. My dyslexia kicks in, so I can never remember the exact order. So I always affectionately refer to them. One of my best friends is part of the community, and I have no qualms about any of that. But that was an interesting tidbit. Like, she's one of the first openly gay CEOs of a major Forbes 500 company, and that's a huge accomplishment. So I was like, okay, put that little nugget back in the back. Well, as I was looking through all the rest of her information, she's also sitting on the board of directors for BlackRock, or she was back until September 2022, which is when all the eggs stopped coming, when all the chickens stopped laying eggs. She stepped down as board of director from BlackRock. Who is BlackRock? That's a really great question. They are the top investor for Purina, for Land O'Lakes, and for Vanguard. Well, who's Vanguard? Vanguard invests in Amazon, Walmart, Disney, and there's all other subsidiaries under that umbrella. If you follow the money, there's too many different there's too many connections for it to not be kind of like, So the company that has the largest stock in our food, like our the food that we're providing to our animals, who also is the largest owner in egg production, because Land O'Lakes also owns Calmine, who is in Walmart, one of the biggest egg providers for Walmart, is being supported by this investment company who is also it's all interconnected. And that's just me pulling a few strings and following what they have directly on their websites. So there's a lot of money that's involved. There's a lot of money that I found personally when I was doing my research just on the one person in the company. So, granted, she stepped back, but the timing was a little interesting, because that's when everyone's chickens stopped laying, was back in September of 2022, right around the time that they started suspecting that there was something wrong with the feed. So she backed down off the board of investors. Just little weird things. So that's what I personally found. That's my personal report, was that there are a lot of interconnections between the major companies that are involved. There's a lot of money, like millions and millions and millions of dollars, that are involved in this. And so it's interesting to look behind the scenes to see that. So my little investigator journal hat, my little press hat is on right now. Can you tell? Can you tell? You probably can tell. So what else? What else do we have on the agenda? So tonight there is a UFC fight. So of course, if you guys know anything about us, we are going to be watching that without apology. I am all about peace and love and light, but I am also about grown men pummeling the snot out of each other. I don't know why. It's fun. Growing up, it does. It's ridiculous. It's weird. It's like one of those psychological thrillers. So, but again, that's what I found just by asking, where is the money leading? What's behind this money path? And all the top investors are, again, Amazon, Disney, and there's a lot of weird stuff happening with Disney right now, I think. So it's just an eye-opening thing. Keep your eyes open, mind open. Keep your mind open, because circumstantial is circumstantial. It could just me being a little more nosy than I need to be on a topic that I have no business paying attention to. So that's my tea on the chicken feed thing, is that I went down the rabbit hole on the investors, found a whole lot of interwebby connections, and that are simply helping me make decisions on where my money goes. So again, if you are buying chicken feed, you have ducks, you have animals, buy from your local feed mill, support the local business. Hey, Torrin, I'm going to need more coffee. So, so that's what I recommend if you have the opportunity to do that. So let's pull this up. There we are. I finally got So we have been live on Facebook for about an hour and a half. Top me off, please. I am so blessed. I have my son who is giving me coffee and dripping. It's okay. Thank you. Yay, coffee. Gooses!
Protect your mother.
So if you guys are watching, we do have him back up on the Facebook group on the video there. So we were able to get that back up and running. Goose is chilling. Let me see if I can flip this and see if I can get and share the screen with you guys here without totally losing everything. Probably not, but we're going to try. All right, so let's make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see on the TikTok. And just doing a check-in. Who's here? Who's still watching? Show us some love. Show us some. There's Goose. Goose is hanging out. So we talked about the chicken food. We talked about the financial interesting interconnection. Now, Goose. Oh. So we did have some questions earlier this week about how Goose is able to walk and how he does as far as his health and everything. He's not an outside duck, and is he happy? So one of the things that I like to let people know, especially when they're new and they're first watching, that Goose has always been an inside duck. So from when he was very little, he was inside. There was only one night and one night only where he was put outside, and he and his flockmate were attacked, and she was killed by a fox. So ever since then, he became an inside duck. And when he became an inside duck, he got very spoiled. He always had a stuffed animal. He had a human around. He always had a dog. So he's never been fully by himself. There's been maybe once or twice where, we'll leave him. But we have a mirror that we keep for him, when we go do groceries. And there was one night where we stayed overnight somewhere, and he was kind of pissed at us for doing that to him. But we came back and he was all kinds of mad. But, he's actually very uniquely solo. So we have Luna. When Luna got injured, we have Luna who hangs out with him now. And they seem to get along really well, but he will go off on his own. But Goose wants you guys to know that ducks do not actually need water. They don't need to swim in water to be happy. But it is good for them to be able to clean themselves. It's good for them to be able to get off their legs. Ducks, especially Peking ducks, like Goose, have leg and hip joint issues a lot of the time. So what we do is we make sure that Goose and Luna get a lot of water therapy. So that means that they're hanging out in the bathtub. They're hanging out, with the water just deep enough to allow them to swim and allow them to get the pressure off of their leg. But they also are able to touch the ground of the pool to be able to make sure that they're able to not get tired and swim 24/7. So Goose is very adamant that he is happy. He is healthy. He is still getting a little bit of medicine for that leg. His leg is still a little swollen, so we're doing everything we can to keep him comfy. Same thing with Luna. Luna had me worried a little bit yesterday. She was very quiet. She's not normally so quiet. But she's an outdoor duck. It's been an interesting transition. She's a lot more tame than what she was when she first came in. She'll let me stand next to her. She'll let me pet her, but there is not a cuddly bone in that little duck's body. So we allow her to have as much space as she needs, but she loves Goose. She loves cuddling up to Goose. And right, Goose? Yeah, he agrees. Oh, and here's a fun fact. Here's another thing that I thought was cool. Did you know that ducks can live from anywhere between 3 to 18 years? The world's oldest duck was reportedly 26 years old. Are we going to get 26 years out of you, Goose? Be old and stringy by then. Now, we were talking about that last night. If things ever hit the fan, I know we have weird conversations. If things ever hit the fan, he's a dog. To us, he's our pet dog, so he's not. He would never become food. No. The others, that was part of why we raised them. Not solely for meat, but we were definitely raising them to be eggs and to produce babies to potentially become food. So it's an option, but not one that I want to think about. And I have no intention of making that happen anytime soon. So we love our animals, but we also honor their lives and their ability to become food if we need it. So let's see. But yeah, the world's oldest duck is 26 years old. That's an old bastard. All right, guys. So if you haven't already, I would love to have you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. You guys can find the link in the bio. We have all of our other social media information there. If you are under the age of 18, I think there are some restrictions. We're working on getting all of our TikToks and all of our live events like this all uploaded onto the YouTube. So that's going to be a project that I'm working on over the next week. So yeah. So we're getting everything all uploaded and tagged and all that fun SEO stuff onto the YouTube channel. So that'll be kind of like our backup for TikTok here. Make sure you guys subscribe. We've got a whole whopping 6 subscribers, and as much as I love it, it's like, let's get this out there, guys. We're looking to grow the community, so if you guys are enjoying this, make sure you're liking it, loving it, sharing it, putting it out there. So because this podcast is supposed to be about ducks and it's supposed to be about self-care, this is the message that I want to share with you today. Is there are times where we get overwhelmed, and it happens to me all the time. And I know I have a few things to work on as far as getting overwhelmed. So I want to share with you a little backstory, and then I want to share with you guys some tips that maybe you guys can implement too. So over the last few weeks, I've had a few major projects getting worked on. So between launching an academy for podcasting, doing interviews, working on trying to find a job, I'm trying to build my design, my graphic design and website building business as well, my freelancing business. There's a lot of moving parts that are happening. And it's so easy for me to become overwhelmed, especially when it comes to talking to people. I'm very much an introvert. So if I have the ability to do everything behind the screen, I'm happy to do it. I love coming on here and presenting my message and doing my podcast and doing this. This is like speaking is a passion. But getting overwhelmed is such a real and raw feeling that if you're not careful, it can set you on a spiral. It can set you down a path to feel like not enough. It can set you on a path to feel like you don't have a handle on it. It can set you on a path that leads you to question who you are, what you're doing. Like it just, if you know anything about the mind spiral, if you've been there, it's okay. It's normal. And especially if you have like attention deficit, that is something that I am continuing to find tools. I'm continuing to find resources. When I find them, I love to share them with you. One of the things that I know has really helped was having that tracker that I made for Nick and Phoenix. They asked me to do a workbook for them that is ADHD specific, to be able to get everything out of your head, to prioritize it in a way that makes sense to you, and then be able to keep track of it so that way you can see where you're doing really well and where you're struggling. And that workbook is a super rough draft of one of the books in my planners that I have over here. My 12-week course in being able to get your stuff together. It's a course and an agenda in there. But that workbook, I can make that workbook available as well if people are interested in it. That's a good resource. So we'll put that up for a few bucks, I think, on the website. And if you guys want that, you guys are more than welcome to have it. Let's see. But when you get overwhelmed, the top tip is to get your priorities out and figure out what exactly has to happen first. And then what you end up doing are tasks related to that top priority. And then if you get sidetracked or you find yourself you fell off the wagon and you're out in the weeds, just get back on track and get back on that path to handling that particular task. So a lot of times, overwhelm shows up for me as inaction. There will be days where I have a whole ton of stuff to do. I'm not going to do any of it. And that is probably one of the most detrimental things that you can do for yourself. There's a difference between taking rest and honoring your body and not doing anything because you're overwhelmed. And my strongest recommendation, if you are ever feeling overwhelmed, start with a super small task. And it sounds really super silly anytime I say it, but it works, is I make a goal. If I'm overwhelmed, I give myself a little bit, get my gumption together, and I clean the bathroom. Because what that does is it allows me to feel productive. I managed to tackle something significant on my to-do list. And if I don't do anything other than clean the bathroom, I did a good job. But what happens is a lot of the times, once I'm done with the bathroom, there's something else that I'm ready to move on to. So what I've done is essentially, if you think about it in mechanical terms, you prime the pump. You get it warmed up, you start getting ready to do, and then you start moving forward. It's like warming up the car engine on a cold day. You're giving it time to warm up. By doing something small, starting your engine, you can start going on to the bigger trek. Does that make sense? But oftentimes we find ourselves like completely stuck. So you can find yourself completely depressed. You can find yourself emotional and feeling bad that you're not doing the things you feel you should be doing. And the most important thing for me to share with you in regards to this is to make sure that you have grace. Have grace for yourself. Have grace for your thoughts. Give yourself a little bit of leeway, especially if you know you're busting your butt everywhere else and you just legit need a break. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you find yourself sitting there thinking, I should be doing this, or I need to be doing this, reprocess that. Because when you do something because you feel obligated, there's a small resentment that builds in. You're doing it because you have to. You're doing it because this and you don't want to. Like, there's a lot of resentment and a lot of negative feelings that get tied into doing that project. That's why I always suggest just doing something small. Like, I don't mind cleaning the bathroom. I'm the one who uses the bathroom. So usually it's just Swiffering the floors, putting the towel up, and just putting my hair stuff back where it should have been in the first place. But so cleaning the bathroom for me is not a huge thing because there's not a whole lot to do. But it's enough to ignite that motivation. Now, I heard the other day on one of my MMA podcasts, and I thought that this was a fascinating take. So, MMA fighters are a whole different level of animal than it comes to, us everyday non-professional, people. They have something that we don't. And a lot of times there's a certain drive that they have within them that I think a lot of us envy. I know I do. This guy has gotten up for years and years and years, gotten up, gone to the gym, pushed his body to the breaking point, and then got in a ring to get his face pummeled by some other dude who could possibly be stronger than him. There's a whole different level when you're a professional fighter like that. And Anthony Smith said something along the lines yesterday in Thursday's podcast, that it's not motivation. He felt that motivation is BS. It's discipline. It's showing up on the days where you don't want to. It's pushing through on the hardest parts, even if you don't think you have it in it, because that's when you get to say, I did it. You can be proud of yourself for pushing past. You can be proud of yourself for moving forward, despite the mental aspect. You're pushing past that mental aspect. And when you're able to push past that mental aspect, you're able to build your confidence, and you're able to take small steps and build and make them even bigger day after day. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. So here are some tips to overcome the overwhelm. One is stay disciplined. Create a routine that works for you. Create a routine that makes you feel good, that you know makes you feel good, even on the tough days. So some people, no matter what, will wake up, get their shoes on, and go out to the front door. They make it to the front door, they're going to step out, they're going to go for a walk, they're going to go for a jog, but they have to make it to the front door with their shoes on. And I thought that that was fantastic. That was such a good way of establishing a routine where you're getting up and you're getting out of bed. And just that alone is 90% of the battle. All you have to do is just keep walking out the door, right? So the discipline to get up, the discipline to put your shoes on, the discipline and the building on that routine is going to help you break up the overwhelm. It's also important to be able to have support and accountability, and having someone to check in with regularly. Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, gives similar. It's interesting, especially coming from those super alpha males who are putting all in, like they're going all in on themselves physically and mentally and emotionally. Like they're putting all of themselves on the line to pursue this. So that's what I think makes it so fascinating. That's why I love listening to what they say and the information that they have on this, because that's what it takes. That's what differentiates them from us everyday people who might go to the gym because they feel like it. You know what I mean? So being able to show up every day, even if you're not a fan of what you're doing, being able to find a way to make it mentally fun. You don't know what you're getting into for the day, but if you know that this is something that has to get done, that's one of my tips too. Make it as fun as possible. You got to clean the bathroom, turn on the music, and have a dance party. Make it fun. So instead of cleaning party, it's dance party. Time to dance. You make it fun. You engage yourself in a way that, one, is going to be effective for you, and two, something that's going to allow you to continue to build on the routine. Having a support and accountability partner is invaluable. Nick, you have Phoenix, who is obviously a really, really good influence on you. Phoenix, you've got Nick, who hopefully he's keeping you on track too. I know he's doing everything he can to support you. So having someone that you can bounce ideas off. Hey, dude, I am not feeling this today. Oh, come on. You said that last week. We're not. No. You said you're going to do it. You better do it today. Okay. Having someone to encourage you, bounce ideas off of, what, I really wanted to do this. This is not working out the way I wanted to. What would you do in this? Having someone to soundboard off of is often a way to be able to overcome that overwhelm, because they can help you break it down in a way that makes more sense. Bigger picture, different perspective. The next is to own your highs and your lows. There are some, I've always noticed that there are definite times where my energy is really high, and there are times where my energy is really low. During certain cycles, whether it's the moon, women's cycles, my body energy fluctuates. And there are some days where I don't want to get out of bed, and there are some days where I will sleep 3 hours and I'm diving into the project the next day. And it varies depending on the hormones and the moon cycle and just my overall energy. What else is going on in my head. So own your cycles, whether it's your energy cycle, your physical cycle, your mental cycle. You know what? Maybe I'll come up with I'm going to write that down. I'm going to make a workbook for that too. Keeping track of your mental overall. Let me write that down. Because I think that might be helpful. Mental cycle workbook. Now, what I mean by that, by a cycle workbook, would just be a quick, easy visual thing that you can track your mood, your emotional range for the day, stuff like that. Just something like a quick little sheet where you can have like a little legend, and blue means blue, kind of rough mentally. So I think maybe I'll come up with a free workbook or something for that. So we'll do that. But then the other thing too is what I did with Nick and Phoenix is I was trying to help them break down their tasks in a way that was a little bit more manageable. They were able to see what their priorities are and also see how they can help each other. Especially if you're in a relationship and there's someone in the house that needs to help you with something. How can you guys manage those tasks in a way that supports the other? My husband hates doing the dishes, so despite the fact that I'm not a fan of it, I will go in and I will help him. And it's one of those, because I know how much he hates it. He'll come over and he'll do yard work because he knows that I'm not capable of doing some of like the hedge trimming and stuff like that. Not that I'm not capable, but it's more of something that he feels good doing. So he likes doing yard work. I'm okay with not doing a whole lot of it. So we're able to balance each other out as far as doing tasks like that. Folding socks. If you hate folding socks, find someone who enjoys to fold socks, or just don't fold socks altogether. Either way. I'm not telling you how to adult. But break down your tasks, see what you can delegate, see what your partner can do to help you out, because that in and of itself will help you feel supported. All right? Now, there are always going to be some things that are just straight out of your hands. And those are the things that I want you. Remember when we were talking a little bit earlier about spirituality and having something solid to believe in, something bigger than yourself to believe in? That's where that comes in. Having the ability to turn something over to God, to the universe, to your source energy, and being able to trust that, you know what, no matter what happens with this, it's going to work out the best way possible. I can't do anything with this right now. This is not for me to handle. And being able to let that go off of your plate is also a relief. There's just stuff that no matter what we do, we're not going to be able to accomplish or do ourselves. And that's okay too. Not everything is your battle to take on. I want you to remember that. Okay? Not everything is your battle to take on. All right, friends. So we are getting ready to wrap on up. We've got about 10 more minutes. Let me go over here and see. We've got about 10 more minutes on our broadcast. So I do want to give special thanks to our sponsors. We'll go ahead and do this. Nope, that's not what I wanted. There we are. All right. Listening to our sponsors.
Thank you for watching the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. We'll be back after these messages from our sponsors. Apex Pheromones. Are you looking to spice things up with your partner? This Valentine's Day, buy him the gift of empowerment and enhance all that he is with a spray of a bottle. Pheromones combined with cologne tap into the area of your mind and his and help connect you on a primal level. They'll enhance your bonding and connection in and out of the bedroom and are perfect for date nights and spicy time. Apex Pheromone. Free shipping just in time for Valentine's Day. www.apexpheromone.com. We want to thank our sponsor, A Plus Assistants, for all they do. Give yourself a break and delegate tasks like social media management, SEO for your website, website creation, copywriting, document creation, and so much more. As a business owner, you deserve to spend your time on the things you do best. Let A Plus Assistants take over administrative, keep you on track, and pave the way to your success. Contact A Plus Assistants today. www.apassistants.com. This podcast is brought to you by Grateful Acres of Delaware. Follow the journey of Allie and her special farm. Allie's mission is to help others through teaching them how to care for animals. The transformations she sees are incredible, and the people and animals she helps is a journey you don't want to miss. You can visit Allie in Delaware, donate to her farm, or follow her on Facebook. www.gratefulacresde.org. Now, back to the Coffee with Christine and Goose show.
Oh my, if you're watching on Facebook, sorry for what you just saw. Goose just gave you all a front row view of some nastiness. Sorry. Goose is pooping. All right, friends. So what we're getting ready to do, as I said, Goose and I are getting ready to launch a podcast academy. What that means for you is helping you get confident in front of the camera. It's helping you create your social media graphics, being able to even broadcast your podcast, getting it all set up for you with the software, the technology that you're going to need. We can even do it all for you. We have VIP packages where all you do, hit play, send us the recording, and we'll do it for you. So there's always the option to work with us on that. We are looking for subscribers. If you want to subscribe, we're taking early access, but we are not planning to launch until March 15th. But if you register now, If you register now, sorry, Goose is adding his 2 cents in. If you register now, you'll be able to lock in the rate of $4.99. That is getting ready to go up to $7.99 after we go live. So if you want to subscribe now, we launch on March the 15th. And once that station is up and running, we'll be able to bring you all amazing health and wellness resources. You guys are going to be able to hear Lawrence's podcast. He's coming on board, so he's going to be podcasting with us. We've got a couple other people who are going to be coming on board as well. So if you wanted to start your podcast but don't even know where to start, just let us know. We can brainstorm with you and help you guys out with that too. So we're here to encourage you to share your message. We're here to help you broadcast your message and get you sharing your message with the world. So we are looking for sponsors. So you guys heard from Apex Pheromones, who, by the way, let me just give a gentle reminder. Valentine's Day is over. We need to update that advertisement. So no more free shipping. You get free shipping on 2 bottles if you go to apexpheromone.com. They've been an amazing, it's a product that I've been around for 5-6 years, even longer actually. And it works. It's interesting, the science behind it. So if you guys go to the link in my bio or christinede.com/links. If you go up to the sponsor links, you'll find all of our sponsor information where you can donate. But Apex Pheromones has a lot of really great products for men to help them boost their self-esteem. At one point, they were working on a women's line. If you guys are interested for women, let me know, and we can try to pass on the message. We have A Plus Assistants, who is absolutely imperative in this day and age of all the technology and all the copy and all of that stuff that business owners need to have handled. AP Assistants will do everything. A Plus Assistants will help you with all your business needs. And then Grateful Acres in Delaware. We have Allie on our radar to be coming on in to do a podcast interview with us soon. So we'll finish getting all that technology snafus. I think a lot of it, I think the issues that we've been having have been a broadcasting Wi-Fi issue. It seems like there's a lot of lag on our part. So we're going to have to talk to our connectivity provider and see what we can do to fix that for you guys, so we can give you guys an enhanced podcast experience. So we are working on that. So Podcast Academy, it's going to be Love Echo Podcasting Academy, start to finish, from brainstorming your podcast all the way through to broadcasting it live. We're here to help you do that. We're also here for your self-care needs. If you need any encouragement, workbooks, presentation slides, any freelance things like that, we're here to help you with that as well. So I want to thank all of our sponsors, Apex Pheromones, A Plus Assistants, and Grateful Acres, for all their love and support and their encouragement, and for being sponsors of the show and helping us make this happen. I want to thank Reel to Reel Broadcasting for allowing us to enter their airwaves and inspire us to continue to share our message with others, giving us a beautiful platform to be able to share the message. Now, I want you guys, if you guys do have any questions, you are always welcome to schedule a consultation. You guys are always welcome to shoot me an email. All of our contact information is on our page, christinede.com. You guys can go there and contact me. Facebook, TikTok, find us on YouTube. We're on all the places. So we'd love to have you guys hang out and support us every which where, whichever one's easiest for you, but every which where. Make sure you're liking, loving, sending, word of mouth. That's how a lot of businesses get out, is word of mouth. So if you guys are liking what we're doing, make sure you're talking about it to the people who you think will benefit from it, okay? All right, my friends. So we're going to go ahead and pull one more card for today. This is going to be what I want us to take away from the whole week. So we started the podcast with the Tower, which represents special, unexpected events, which our equipment not working is always an unexpected event. But being able to overcome challenges, being able to adapt and overcome, and being able to be here and spend this time with you guys has been amazing. And you guys are always wonderful and supportive. If you're here on TikTok and able to interact, thank you again for visiting and joining with us. Nick and Phoenix, you guys are amazing and beautiful souls. You guys got the shout out for your donation today. You guys can donate through the website or our Cash App. It's all in the special links on the TikTok bio. Or if you go to the website, christinede.com, and follow the links, it'll take you all there. But I want to leave off today with planning. Keeping your eye towards the future, keeping your goals in mind, keeping yourself from getting overwhelmed is going to be the key to your success. Taking small steps each and every single day and doing everything you can to live with passion. Make it fun, but live with passion. All right? Thank you all so much for joining me today. We will see you next Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, on Reel to Reel, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Love you all. Thanks for watching. Go live with passion. See you next week. All right, friends. So the radio is turned off. And you guys were absolutely wonderful. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to have to upload this to the YouTube channel. We've got like 200 videos that we have to upload from my phone to YouTube. So it's going to take a little bit of time to do that. But we're gonna make it happen. So that way we build the YouTube channel. We're going to broadcast. We're going to put the interview that I had with Lawrence is going to go on the Facebook group. So if you guys want to learn more about what he had to say, that's going to be on the we're going to upload it and cut it into today's podcast, so that way it flows. So that way you guys are all able to see what happens. Because it was showing on my end, but it was really laggy, and that's not going to cut it. One person said there was no sound. No, all kinds of fun stuff. So one of these days we're going to get everything together. Today was just not that day, and I'm okay with that. So we're getting there. All right, my friends. I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. Keep planning. Keep moving forward. It's all going to be fine. Go and live with passion. Thanks for watching.